What's actually better for blow drying fine natural hair? Is it the old Revair or is it the new Revair? In this highly requested video, we're going to be pinning the new Revair versus the old Revair to see which one comes out on top. So, using my old Revair, I actually ended up blowing drying my hair, my fine natural hair, for 3 months straight. Now, y'all know you're not supposed to be blow drying your hair with anything, even the Revair, for like on a weekly basis for 3 months straight. Like, it's just not a good thing to do. And yeah, I mean, you can lose hair, you can end up with breakage. But what exactly happened to me? Well, I'm going to let you know exactly what happened to my fine natural strands after blow drying them every single week with the old Revair towards the end of this video. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely keep on watching. If you're unable to stay for the full live stream video, that's okay too, because I'm definitely going to be leaving this up for the replay. So yeah, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're an OG curl friend returning back for more, welcome back to Fine Natural Hair Rocks, where your search for the very best in natural hair, beauty, and lifestyle advice stops. So let's just jump on into this. And thank you so much to everybody who's actually hopped onto this live. I'm really excited to share this information with you. So let's just hop into it. In terms of the comparison, the old Revair versus the new one, right off the bat, you can see that there's a huge size difference. This is much bulkier than this one. This is much heavier than this one. And overall, it's just a more pleasant experience using the smaller Revair versus the larger Revair. So if you've got weak arms like myself, your arms get tired midway through blow drying your hair, old Revair is not necessarily going to do it for you. You probably want to go with the new Revair. Now, in terms of the other pieces of the puzzle as it relates to the actual tool itself, the compartments are pretty much the same. So this is the filter. Each filter is going to give you the same vibe. This is the old filter and this is the new one. Now, another difference that I noted in the Revair is the fact that the actual wands are much smaller. So I'm going to show you the old one. Whoops. The joys of live, right? So this one, look at that. Like, I'm still pulling out tubing, right? Lots of tubing for the older Revair. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to hate on it too much. It was a new device, all that good stuff. But look at the difference as it relates to the new one. Look at that. One arm, you guys, one arm is able to use this tubing. And I'm able to use one. It's less bulky. It's absolutely fantastic. And so, you know, on that front, it absolutely does. The new Revair definitely edges out the old Revair, right? In terms of the cons as it relates to the new Revair versus the old one was much cheaper. And not much cheaper in the sense that this is like cheap, because it's not a cheap. It was retailing when it first came out for $2.99 US plus tax. Now, if you're interested in purchasing one of the Revairs, you cannot purchase this anymore from the Revair website, but you can purchase the new one, and you can definitely do so by using the code down below. You can get 10% off the Revair, and it's FNHROCKS. Now, I talk a lot about the Revair because I've actually purchased this one with my own coin, and if this one wasn't provided to me, I would have done it with my own coin as well too, because it's a fantastic device. I only talk about products that actually work here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks. I would never encourage you to waste your money, because wasting money isn't good. Before I jump into one of the cons of the old Revair versus the new Revair, I just wanted to share with you exactly why I think it's a good investment at any price point. Now, if you're anything like me, you're trying to grow your fine natural hair out, you want it thicker, you want it longer, you want it all of those different things, right? If that's you, and you're somebody who is striving for those things, you've got a tighter coil pattern, it is helpful in terms of length retention and in terms of the health of your hair to kind of have it in a blown out state, in a straighter state, more so than in a super coily state. Now, if you go to the salons, and your salons are anything like they are here in Toronto, they're expensive. One trip to the salon can easily set you back $150, $175, depending on what you do. And I say depending on what you do as it relates to maybe a wash, maybe you're doing a treatment, maybe you're getting a trim, and then maybe you're getting a blowout. Even if you're only getting a blowout, you're still going to pay between $60 to $75 for sitting in the chair. Let me know in the comment section how much it costs in your particular city where you're located to get a blowout, and maybe even a wash, a set, style, trim, all those kinds of things. Because here in Toronto, it's expensive. It's so expensive. So that being said, how does this relate to the Revair? Well, it relates to the Revair because at least with this one that was $299, if you just do the math, it's a lot cheaper to go ahead and do your blowouts at home safely than it is to do your blowouts at the salon on a weekly basis, right? So right off the bat, you're saving money because you actually don't need to go to the salon to get blowouts. I would still recommend going to get your trims, but you do not need to go to get blowouts. I see a comments coming through. Hey, Mitz. She says, wow, is it? Yes, the old Revair is a lot heavier than the new Revair. And you can see that there's actually a very serious difference in even the sizes. Now, this is actually small enough. I would say, I think that you could probably put it in like a small, maybe a medium-sized suitcase if you're going to vacation, and it would easily fit in there. The tube itself, which looks like this, would also fit into your suitcase, but I think it would cause a little bit of bulkiness. So they are both still bulky. But for, between the new Revair and the old one, I really do believe that you can manage to take this device on vacation with you more easily with the new versus the old one, right? In terms of the cons, so in terms of comparing that, right? The cons itself, the cons of the old Revair, already went through it, it's heavy. The cons of the new Revair is it's expensive, right? Like, whereas it used to be $299 plus tax before, now the new Revair, I believe the last time did go ahead, and at the last time we talked about this on Financial Here Rocks, a couple of girlfriends mentioned that they had already purchased the old Revair and that, they were kind of a bit upset about it, or not overly happy about it, unhappy, because the new one came out right away. They do actually have a $100 off coupon. I share that with you because I want the best for you, girlfriend. I personally will not be affiliated with that purchase if you decide to use the $100 off coupon because you had an old device and now you're buying a new device. But I do believe that there is more to save in using the $100 off on a second device than there is in using the FNHROCKS code, which will give you 10% off of the new device. So it's $429. I mistakenly said that it was $499. It's actually $429 plus tax US to get the new smaller version. So those are kind of like the cons. In terms of the old Revair and the pros, I mean, this little baby was cheaper, right? It's innovative. So at the time, it was literally the only thing that was around that was like this, which was kind of cool, right? Of course, Revair jumped on the patent. Nobody can make anything like this without infringing on their patents, which is really cool. Another thing about the older Revair is that, it works great, right? It works really, really fantastic. You do get a really nice blowout out of it. If you're interested in seeing exactly what a blowout from this looks like, and I have to switch my arms because it's heavy. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like, then you can definitely, there's a bunch of videos right here on Financial Here Rocks where I show exactly how the device works on my Financial Hair. Now, in terms of the cons of the new Revair, honestly, the only con that I have for this is that it's expensive. The price is a lot to kind of stomach, especially if you're not accustomed to spending that much on your fine natural hair. It definitely adds up really, really, really quickly. So, in terms of pros, like the new Revair, it's new, it's improved. This device, this technology was out before with the old one. It's smaller, it's quieter, it's sleeker. Like, it works amazing as well too. Now, did I see a difference as it relates to, how straight my hair was getting with one versus the other? Not necessarily. I think with time, I've just learned how to better press out my strands using this device. I will say it does seem to maybe, if I had to give it a percentage, like 2 to 3% better of a blowout on the new Revair versus the old one, but it's not enough to justify purchasing the new one as opposed to the old one if you can get your hands on it. Now, I say if you can get your hands on it because, of course, Revair doesn't sell the old one anymore, but you never know. There's always people who, for whatever reason, they're getting rid of the old one, they're looking for the new one, now they've got both, and, they're trying to get rid of it, right? Girlfriend, have you ever blow dried your natural hair on a weekly basis? Let me know. Let me know what your experience with that was like. Did you use the Revair? Did you use a different hair care device? What happened with you? I'm gonna get to the story, I promise. In terms of housekeeping, so our 3,000 subscriber giveaway is now closed. Thank you so much to everybody who decided to be a part of that, to try their hands at winning the Lust Brands hair care system. I am definitely going to be choosing a winner for that, and it will be announced on our next video next week. So if you are one of the people who entered into that contest, then you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to our video next week, where I will be saying exactly, announcing who the winner is. So, between the two devices, who is the better one? I personally would say right off the bat, the new Revair. I think this is a fantastic change to the old device. I think it works. I think, the fact that like it's so much more sleeker, it's got like a more technological vibe to it. To me, it's worth the money. It's worth just everything about it in comparison to the old one. I like the fact that the company listened to the feedback from the community that the old one was heavy, it was chunky, all the things I mentioned earlier, and kind of incorporated those changes into the new one. So in terms of your best bang for buck, I would definitely say to go with the new and improved Revair. So what happened to my hair? Girlfriend, I was using this. I was trying to see if I could get away with blow drying my fine natural hair on a regular basis. And I figured, hey, like I'm using the older Revair, it should be fine. Like, what's the issue, right? No. Y'all, like I didn't end up with a ton of breakage, but I absolutely ended up with a little bit of breakage in the sense that usually when I go for my 3-month trim, I will usually lose about 1/4 of an inch of hair. This time around, after I was using the blow dryer, or the Revair every single week, I lost 1/2 an inch. Now, is that a significant amount of hair? In the grand scheme of things, no, not really. But if you are trying to, you're on a length retention journey, which I am on, if you're trying to ensure the health of your strands, then 1/2 an inch is a lot. Now, I will say though that like my strands didn't thin out. So I didn't feel like, in addition to the extra frayed ends, I was also having thinning at the top of my hair, because that would be an issue, right? That wasn't happening, thank goodness. It was really just a matter of a bigger trim. Now, I will say that I could have potentially had to lose 1/2 an inch of hair as opposed to 1/4 inch of hair, just because I went 4 months without doing a trim, as opposed to usually doing the trims every single 3 months instead. So that could have been a reason as well too. Nevertheless, it's enough for me to say, if you are going to be using the Revairs in your regimen, then you definitely want to be using it in a way where maybe you're doing it every other week, every other 3 weeks. Maybe you're adjusting your routine so that you're not using heat on a weekly basis, because even with the Revair, which is a much lighter version than a regular blow dryer, you will still potentially experience breakage. I don't even want to know what that would have looked like if I had gone ahead and used a regular blow dryer on my hair every single week. I'm pretty sure I would be experiencing a lot more breakage than I am right now, or that I was. And I say was because once I got that trim, everything was back under control. So yeah, that's kind of my story with using the Revair regularly. I think it can be used for fine natural hair. You're just going to have to adjust your expectations as it relates to what your ends might look like, and keep on top of those trims, because if you don't keep on top of those trims and you just let the ends kind of fray, then that's when breakage gets out of control. That's when ends get out of control. And then that's when the issue is like so much more larger than it had to be. Now, if you did like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you want more fine natural hair tutorials, tips, tricks, advice, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter by clicking the link in the description box. I do not spam your inbox. I myself get very irritated by that. So I only give you what is, truly necessary to be given, the really important stuff as it relates to our fine natural strands. So now you know exactly why the Revair, the new Revair, is better than the old Revair. And you also know exactly what happened to my strands after I decided to go ahead and use the old Revair on them on a very regular basis. But what about, trying to get optimal hair growth? Like, what's the plan now? Well, I've decided to go ahead and try using wigs once again for my fine natural hair journey to grow out my strands. And next week, in addition to sharing exactly who the 3,000 subscriber giveaway winner is, I am also going to be sharing exactly what that regimen looks like, because it's very different than the regimen that I had before. And I think it could really help you out if you're also on the journey towards growing thicker and longer hair. In the meantime, go ahead and like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, go ahead and watch any one of the other videos related to the Revair next if it's something that you're interested in getting. I'm always happy to answer questions that you might have. It is a big purchase. And so, and I do truly believe in it. The great thing about Revair as well is if you purchase it, you don't like it, you can send it back. I believe they've got a whole return policy that isn't like, some of these other places where it's like, give me your money, goodbye, slam the door in your face. No, that's not what this situation is about. They're very helpful. It is a truthful company, which is why I've decided to partner with them so closely. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you on Monday. I will put the little disclosure out there, or disclaimer rather, that we may or may not be back on Monday because it is Labor Day here in Canada. And so here on Financial Hair Rocks, we are observing holidays. So I will be back in the following Monday, which is Monday, September, I think I want to say it's the 15th. Let me go ahead and check this because I like to keep my promises. Monday, September the 12th. Will be when I let you know exactly what the new regimen will look like as it relates to using wigs for your fine natural hair. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for chilling with me on your Monday night. I love you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I will absolutely see you on Monday, September 15th with the new upload. Love you lots. Bye.